In this video, I'll talk about cloud security options. One of the big showstoppers with cloud computing adoption is trusting a third party to deal with perhaps sensitive data or IT systems. And in some cases, due to legal or regulatory reasons, you can't use public cloud providers. You've got to deal with on-premises storage and running of IT systems. The first thing to consider is, are public cloud providers hacking targets? Because there are thousands of tenants sharing pooled IT resources, so aren't they a bigger target? Well, to a degree, there is some truth in that. But at the same time, with public cloud providers, economies of scale, because they have so many customers, allow them to focus on strong security. It's in their interest because that's their business. And they also have to go through third-party audit compliance constantly to make sure that their IT practices and systems are hardened and trustworthy. There's also replication both within and between different provider data centers. This allows for high availability of IT systems as well as data. So it's part of business continuity to keep business operations running, even if we have an entire data center that's not reachable for some reason. Then there's encryption of data in motion, data being transmitted over the network. Now, that needs to be done, of course, over the internet, but also internally on internal networks or even private cloud networks where you might deploy virtual machines that talk to each other only within that cloud virtual network. Data at rest means that we've got stored data that should also be encrypted. Now, we might have to manually encrypt data before we store it in the cloud, or it might be available from the cloud provider. In this example, I'm going to upload a file to a cloud storage location. So here I'm just going to go to the Actions menu and I'm going to choose Upload. Now once I've added a file to upload, here it's just a small text file. As I go through the wizard, here I'm going to click Set Details at the bottom. Notice I have the option to use server-side encryption. So this is one way that we can deal with cloud encryption for data at rest. We also have to think about the cloud provider and how they remove data. Now, of course, we can remove data stored in the cloud ourselves, but are there data remnants that are still available after the fact? Do they have any specific data sanitizing practices they use to make sure when we delete data, nobody else can get to it? Then there are virtual machines in terms of security, where we might configure them such that data center administrators can only start or stop virtual machines that we create, or perhaps even not. That would depend on your cloud provider and how you structure your virtual machines, and also what the provider supports. There's this concept called shielded virtual machines, whereby the contents of the virtual machine, running services and data, are completely inaccessible by data center administrators.